You are watching the NHL Roundup. Welcome to the NHL Roundup. I'm Mike Jackman. We're going to start in New Jersey, where there must be something in the water because the Devils have 17 goals in 5 games, and they're usually known as a defensive squad. However, they've also given up 16 goals to start this year and have lost their last 2 games, including one to the Washington Capitals and then recently to the San Jose Sharks. Their opponents Tuesday night, the New York Rangers, and all-star goalie Henrik Lundqvist has had kind of an off year in October to start this year, as he's given up 15 goals and has a 3.21 goals against average. But in his last 2 games, he's only given up 1 goal, including his shutout against the San Jose Sharks. So maybe King Henrik is taking his seat back on the throne, and that is bad news for the New Jersey Devils. The Devils come out firing on a power play, including this shot from the slot area by Adam Henrique, but he fires it off the post, still scoreless. And now on the Rangers power play, they're going to capitalize. McDonough is going to get stopped in the slot area by Corey Schneider, but the rebound's going to go right to Chris Kreider for his second of the year, and the Rangers have a 1-0 lead in New Jersey. Now the Devils get a power play. Damian Brunner, his shot from the point's going to go wide of the net, but it's going to bounce right to the side where Jaromir Jagr is sitting at his office, and he puts it past Lundqvist. We're tied at 1. Second period now, still 1-1, and Patrick Elias gets sprung on a break. He kind of gets held down a little bit, which means he can't get a good enough shot away, and Lundqvist is able to hold his ground to keep the score tied at 1. So now the Devils power play, and they're going to take the lead as Jaromir Jagr is going to find Adam Henrique, who hit the post earlier, but not this time. From the face-off circle, he beats Henrik Lundqvist 2-1 New Jersey. In the third, the Devils still have a 2-1 lead, and they've got another power play, and it's just like the other 2. They're going to score on it. John Merrill wrist shot beats Henrik Lundqvist, and that's their 3rd power play goal of the game. The Devils have a controlling 3-1 lead. However, power play time was very critical in this one, and this time the Rangers get one, and they cut it within 3-2 as Chris Mueller fires it home. That's the Rangers' 2nd power play goal of the game, and it's 3-2. And then, here comes the equalizer. Schneider can't control it behind the net, and then it gets thrown out in front. Kevin Hayes gets stopped by Schneider, but Rick Nash does not. That's his 8th of the year. We are tied at 3 in New Jersey, heading to overtime. In the overtime period, watch this move by Suterson. Nice little toe drag around the defenseman, but Lundqvist comes up with a big save. Back the other way, come the New York Rangers. Chris Klein's going to take a drop pass, and then he's going to beat Corey Schneider. The Rangers come up with a big victory in New Jersey, 4-3 in overtime. To Montreal we go for the Red Wings and the Canadiens. 10 minutes left to go in the first period, and Jacob Kindle gets a great opportunity here, but Corey Price stands his ground and wouldn't allow a rebound to keep the score scoreless. Canadiens turn up the heat in the second period with a great opportunity here. Desharnais trying to find Brendan Gallagher in front, but he can't reach it, and he ends up taking out Jimmy Howard in the process. Now it's the Red Wings' turn for some great opportunities. Glendening's going to tip it by the defenseman and try and find Miller in front, but again, Carey Price is there to stop it, and we're still scoreless in the second period. Now we finally get our first goal. Second period, Zetterberg shot, kicked away by Price, but right there to clean up the rebound is Justin Abelkader, and it's 1-0 Detroit. Montreal had all kinds of pressure in the third, but couldn't find a way to beat Jimmy Howard until now, as Alex Galchenyuk gets him going the other way, and he wrap around beats Jimmy Howard finally, and we're tied at 1 going to overtime at the Bell Center. Then in the overtime period, Detroit's defense falls asleep and allows Montreal so many chances, and it finally gets put home by Desharnais at the side of the net past Jimmy Howard. No chance there, and the Canadiens take this one in overtime over the Red Wings 2-1. We're heading off to the island for the Leafs and the Islanders. The Leafs have won their last 6 games here in New York, but it's the Islanders who get off to the big start. Strome finds Nick Leddy, who wrist shots it past Jonathan Bernier, and the Islanders have an early 1-0 lead. But the Leafs, they don't take long to tie things up as Phil Kessel finds James Van Riemsdyk in front of the net, and his quick shot is going to beat the blocker hand of Jaroslav Halak. We're tied at 1 in New York. But the Islanders get a power play before the end of the first. This shot by Nielsen goes wide, but it goes right to John Tavares, who beats Bernier, and the Islanders have a 2-1 lead going to the dressing room. Do you remember a week ago when the Leafs had that big second period in New York? Well, stay tuned. Phil Kessel, there's one on the blocker hand of Halak to tie things up at 2. Then it's going to be Polak picking it up in front of the net and firing it past Halak on the blocker hand. Makes it 3-2 for the Leafs. After Clarkson made it 4-2 in the second, we're still in the second period, and Phil Kessel wins the race to that puck, and blocker hand on Halak. That's all for Halak. He wouldn't start the third period, and the Leafs win this one 5-2. To Nashville now for the Coyotes and the Predators, and that shot goes wide of the net, which leads to a 2-on-1 the other way for the Coyotes, and Moss finds Klinkhammer at the side of the net. No chance for the tender, and it's 1-0 for the Coyotes. And now I have no idea how this happens, but a 4-on-1 the other way gets put away by Mike Ribeiro at the side of the net. We're tied at 1. In the second period, we're tied up at 1, and after a power play just ends for Nashville, Ryan Ellis is going to risk this one past Devan Dubnyk, and that's going to give the Predators a 2-1 lead. Coyotes looking to tie it up. Watch Mikhail Balker do everything he can to do that, as he has everybody fooled except for Pekka Rinne, as he makes a save to still keep it at 2-1 Nashville. Best this is though, win faceoff, and Keith Yandel gets rid of it pretty quickly past Pekka Rinne. We're tied at 2. We're still tied at 2, and the Coyotes have a power play in the third. Double the pain here, block shot, and then at the side of the net, Martin Erat puts it home, and the Coyotes have the 3-2 lead. But it's not going to last, because the Predators are going to have the answer right after that, as Mike Ribeiro is going to find new Nashville Predator this year, James Neal, and he's showing that he's liking his new home in Nashville as he blows it by Dubnyk. We're tied at 3. In the overtime period, great opportunity here for the Predators. James Neal was a hero to tie it, and he was almost the hero to win it here. He has Dubnyk beat, but not the post. We're tied at 3, still going to a shootout. First shooter up for the Predators is Derek Roy. He comes in with some speed, and then he slows it down and beats Devan Dubnyk to the blocker side. 1-0 Predators in the shootout. After the first 2 Coyotes missed, it was up to Vermette to keep this thing alive, and he will with a backhand through the legs of Pekka Rinne. And here comes now Ryan Ellis for the Predators, and he outweights Devan Dubnyk here and puts it home, which put all the pressure on ex-Predator Martin Erat to keep this thing alive, and it's not going to happen. The Predators win this one in a shootout. To Winnipeg for the Jets and the Hurricanes, and the Jets don't take long to get on the board first. Andrew Ladd at the side of the net is going to chip this one in. It would go upstairs, but you can see that the puck is on the back of Khudobin's pad, and that's going to give the Jets a 1-0 lead. Not long after that, Klitzum's shot from the point gets tipped in front by Adam Lowry past Khudobin, and the Jets have a 2-0 lead. But only a couple minutes after that, though, on a Hurricanes power play they're getting on the board, Yuri Tulusty is going to finish it off at the side of the net past Pavlik, and that puts the Hurricanes on the board. It's down 2-1. But only a couple minutes after that, though, on a Hurricanes power play they're getting on the board, Yuri Tulusty is going to finish it off at the side of the net past Pavlik, and that puts the Hurricanes on the board. It's down 2-1. Jets look to get that one right back. Gagliardi in front of the net, but Khudobin gets just enough of it to keep his club only down by 1. Then 5 minutes into the second, and Khudobin comes up big again, this time off Mark Scheifele to keep it at 2-1. No slouch at the other end was Andrei Pavlik, as he comes up big here off Alexander Semin at the side of the net to keep his club still up by 1. Then a miscue by the Hurricanes is costly. Defenseman can't keep it in, and Dustin Byfuglien off to the races, beats Khudobin, makes it 3-1. Pavlik makes 21 saves, and the Jets double up on the Hurricanes 3-1. To Colorado for the Avalanche and the Panthers, and it's the Panthers who break the goose egg first on a turnover in front of the net. Brendan Perry blows it by Reto Berra right there, and it's 1-0 Florida. The Panthers are going to go up by 2 in the first period, as Aaron Ekblad is going to find Barkov going to the side of the net, and there's no chance for Reto Berra on this one, and it's 2-0 for Florida. But a 5-on-3 for the Avalanche in the second period, and they take advantage of that, as Tyson Barrie is going to make it 2-1 by loading this one up from the point past Luongo. And they were still on the power play, and down low, Gabriel Landeskog puts it past Luongo. We're tied at 2 now. The Panthers had all kinds of penalty trouble in the second period. Another Colorado power play here, and O'Reilly in front of the net is going to get stopped by Luongo, though, as he bails him out and keeps the game tied. But the Avs aren't going to be denied the lead here, as Jerome McGinley goes charging to the net and finishes it off past Luongo, and the Avalanche have their first lead of the game, 3-2. Panthers weren't quitting though. 2 minutes left to go in the second period. Dylan Olsen shot from the point, goes off Sean Bergenheim in front and past Red O'Bara, and the Panthers have tied this thing up at 3. Nobody would tally one in the third, so we go to overtime, and in the overtime period, the Panthers would enjoy a power play, and it's Brad Boyes who would end this one with that bullet past Red O'Bara, and the Panthers steal one in Colorado 4-3 in overtime. In the first period, the Bruins are getting on the board first, as Brad Marchand's going to show off his wrist shot past Anthony Niemi. It's 1-0 Boston. But the Sharks are going to get even, win the draw, and then Patrick Marleau shoots it. It gets tipped in front by Logan Couture past Tuukka Rask. We're tied at 1. Then the second period on a Bruins power play, Corey Krug lets one go from the point. It may have hit something in front. It doesn't matter. It found its way to the back of the net past Niemi, and the Boston Bruins have a 2-1 lead. But the Sharks have the answer, and it's Marleau and Couture hooking up again. Marleau feeds Couture past Tuukka Rask. We're tied at 2. And some great hand-eye coordination by Joe Thornton at the side of the net. Watch him knock that puck down past Tuukka Rask, and that gives the Sharks a 3-2 lead. But in the third, the Bruins take over, including rookie Seth Griffin. He's going to get his first of the year, beating Niemi there. We're tied at 3. And here's the eventual game winner. Paille throws it at the net, tipped in front by Gregory Campbell, gives the Bruins a 4-3 lead. They'd add one more, and the Bruins double up the Sharks in Boston, 5-3. Off to the Big D in Dallas for the Canucks and the Stars, and it's the Stars that open up the scoring 4-8 into this one. Ryan Garbett on a 2-on-1 throws it at the net, and the defender coming back, it winds up going off his stick and then past Ryan Miller, and the Stars have an early 1-0 lead. On a Stars power play, it goes over the stick of Goligoski, which means Hansen's off to the races now, and the backhand, he can't beat Kari Lehtinen though, and he keeps it still 1-0 Stars. On that same power play, Eric Cole takes a drop pass and makes no mistake past Ryan Miller, 2-0 for the Stars. From bad to worse for the Canucks, before the end of the first period, the defenseman coming back winds up taking out Miller, which takes him out of the play, and that leaves a wide open net for Tyler Seguin on the wraparound, which makes it 3-0 now for the Stars. Second period, different to the second period now. It's a different period, but it's the same old story because the Stars just keep coming at the Canucks. Jamie Benton's going to catch Ryan Miller going the wrong way here. That makes it 4-0 now for Dallas. This was just not the night to be a Vancouver Canuck. Dan Hamhuis fans on the shot, which means Ryan Garbett's now off to the races. Miller makes a save on Garbett, but nobody takes Cody Eakin coming in front. He makes it 5-0 past Miller, and the Dallas Stars make the Canucks Sea Stars on this night, beating them 6-3. We head to Chicago for the Flyers and the Blackhawks. Antti Raanta getting the start with Corey Crawford injured with the lower body injury, and the Hawks are going to strike first. The last one to touch this one in front of the net will be Brendan Saad for his first of the year, past Steve Mason, and the Blackhawks have a 1-0 lead. And now it's a Blackhawks power play after that. This shot from the point from Patrick Sharp goes wide, but goes right off the boards to Patrick Kane, who has no trouble beating Mason, 2-0 Blackhawks. Then it's Brian Bickle getting in on the fun, as this wrist shot finds its way past Steve Mason, 3-0 now for the Blackhawks. To the second period we go, and Antti Raanta stole the show, including 2 big saves of Claude Giroux in front of the net. He made 32 saves for the shutout as the Blackhawks blanked the Flyers 4-0. Now to Calgary, Evgeny Nabokov gets the start for the Lightning tonight as the Lightning look to rebound from a loss in Edmonton. In the second period, we're still tied at nothing. Mark Giordano loads up from the point, but the fast glove hand of Nabokov keeps this one tied at 0-0. This stayed 0-0 till the third when Johnny Gaudreau goes to work through the defense over to Dennis Weidman, who finally beats Evgeny Nabokov, and it's 1-0 for the Flames. And with 5 minutes left to go, the Flames were trying desperately to hold on, but it would not happen. This shot from the point can't be handled by Kararamo, flipped in at the side of the net by Valtteri Filppula, and we go to overtime tied at 1. In the overtime, first big opportunity for the Lightning as a chip pass leads to a 2-0, but a great right pad save there by Kararamo to keep this game alive. But the Lightning kept coming, and Kararamo couldn't stop him. This shot from the point he can't control. Andre Palat can, and he goes to the backhand, and the Lightning beat the Flames in Calgary 2-1 in overtime.